October 31st, he said. And then I was just like, okay, I'll wait till then. But no, put it out in August, why not? I know. Hey YouTube, it's Mega Sega Star 221, and I am back with the third showcase video for this awesome week that I'm doing. And it's this. It's Five Nights 4. Yeah. You know, I was really happy. You know, I was gonna do this in October. Nope. As soon as the game comes out, all my other videos out of nowhere is, hey, Mega Sega Star. What? Nights 4 is out. I know. I get. Yeah. I saw. Yeah. So, just to clear it out, you know, get that out of the way. So for this showcase, I have Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare Foxy, and Nightmare Chica. And I guess Nightmare Cupcake, if you count that, because that's a jump scare. But I did not do Nightmare the character because I thought it was just a repaint of Nightmare Fredbear just in black, so I didn't think it was necessary. I also didn't do Plush Trap. If you want me to do Plush Trap, just let me know, and I'll do Plush Trap. Same goes for the Withered Animatronics, which I also haven't done aside from Bonnie. But aside from that, let's start with Nightmare Freddy. Here we have Nightmare Freddy. Now, he is definitely not my favorite. He is my least favorite out of all of them that I made. I do have to say I like how his eyes look, at least. I think his eyes look pretty nice. But there are a lot of flaws with him that I do not like at all. For example, I don't like his teeth. I think his teeth came out really bad. And compared to the Phantom Freddy, his head is so much smaller. I could say that about all of them, actually. All of their heads are pretty small, you know, compared to the other ones I've made. Even Toy Freddy here, they all have different, like, heads, but his are really tiny. But, I also have to say I don't like his hat I made. I'm really not happy about the hat. And in all, his body just looks kind of plain to me. I mean, I cut it and everything, and I did all this stuff to it, but it still, I feel like, could have been better. I should have probably put the little characters on him, like the little Freddys, but I just didn't. Paint, though, the paint looks really nice, I think. Another thing I've been doing with them, you're going to see these more on the other ones, but there are little holes cut into his body. Those are actually there. Those are actually cut in. And it's really nice looking, but the rest of him I'm not as proud of. That's really all I had to say about Nightmare Freddy here. So, let's move on to my next one, Nightmare Foxy. Maybe it's all for the best. No more nightmares. Now here we have Nightmare Foxy, and I made him a lot different than I made, actually, other Foxys I did in the past. For starters, the whole reason why all their heads are pretty small compared to the other ones is that the heads are sculpted, and then the neck part, like that a regular Lego head would go on, is holding that up so the mouth can hang off the top of it, or the bottom of it, I mean. And a lot of them do that. Some of them use it and it looks like the endoskeleton inside the mouth. And I thought that looked really nice, so that's what I was doing with them. You know, except it didn't work well on Freddy. But his body is made a lot different than the other ones. Like, especially the first Foxy. I mean, his legs are made of paper. I mean, and the robot legs, but still, paper. And if I compare that to Phantom Foxy, his legs are made more like his, except they're bent more. But this one's legs are made out of regular Lego legs, and I cut a whole section out of it and then put toothpicks in there. and it worked really nice, and it looks good. I think it's the best way I've made his legs yet, I think. At least for a regular Foxy. His torso is made largely the same as the Phantom Foxy's torso, and I use the leg pegs as, you know, endoskeleton parts. I also put little dents and stuff in the arms. I did that on a bunch of them. And then for his face, I mean, I love his face. I think his face looks really nice. I mean, from certain angles, I think he looks really bad, his face, but like some of the paint got messed up on there, but the face itself, I think, looks really nice. And I mean, the sculpt on the face, I think it could be a little more clean, but I like the way it looks still. His eyes, I didn't like as much the way they came out. And his whole arm is actually not even the right arm. It was the wrong-sided arm, and I just painted it to the color and then stuck a claw on there. And that's really it for Foxy. So, let's move on to Nightmare Bonnie. Here we have Nightmare Bonnie. He is a pretty good one, actually, in my opinion. He is the first one I got done, and I did some really nice effects, especially on his body, and I'm really excited for you to see him. So, first off, his body is pretty much torn apart here, but his teeth are actually the first, because it's the first one, his were only made of toothpicks, and the others are actually made of hot glue. And like all of them, the arms are glued outwards, so the arms actually, none of them have arm articulation. But something I really love is his torso. This entire section is cut out in here, and it looks so cool. I love the way it looks. There's actually even a little piece, when you cut open the Lego part, that looks like that little part of the endoskeleton up there. All I added onto that was a little toothpick and painted it silver inside of it. And then, you know, I made it look like it was actually broken, and it looks so nice. I really love how that came out. But aside from that, on the sides of his legs too, he has cuts in him. He has cuts in him everywhere. I think I did one of the most weathering with, especially because I had to take off the entire front. I even bent one of the feet a little to have it, you know, look more like the endoskeleton part and not like it was painted. But then, like I said before, there's an entire section just cut out of his leg here, and it looks so cool. I love the way it looks. Something I did with him, he was the first one, so he didn't have it as nicely as the others did, but something I did with him is a new painting technique I'm using. And what it is, it's when you put a regular coat down, and you'd put you'd take most of the paint off your paintbrush and you dust it on, and it gives it a really old look. You're gonna see it more on two of them later, but that's a really neat trick I did with him that I really liked. And that's really it for Nightmare Bonnie. So let's move on to Nightmare Chica. Here we have my personal favorite of the Nightmare line, Nightmare Chica, and she is so unsturdy though. I mean, wait, ooh, okay. Anyways, now Nightmare Chica is one of those few that I told you about that use the neck piece as a big supporter, because it held up her entire head and gave it that whole look that she has in the game, where the one part of her head is sort of higher than the other. And but aside from that, I mean, the weathering detail on her, I love. I had to glue her torso a little higher than the body itself, you know, because to give it that whole open space she had. I did the same thing for Springtrap a few months ago, and there's even a cut hole on the top of it, going around the side here. I did the same thing with the arms that I did on Foxy. And I must say, I'm not proud of the cupcake at all, but I don't really care for the cupcake. I just had to add it though. There's also the little cuts on the side of her legs, same as Bonnie's. and there's little holes and rivets in her. I even cut little holes in the feet. That's why she's so unsturdy. But I wanted to give her the duck feet that she had, or the chicken feet, whatever you want to call her. And then when it comes to the head, I mean, her head is amazing. I love the way her head looks. I love the paint on it. I think she just looks so cool compared to the others with the one white eye and the one red eye. I think she just looks terrifying. I think if I had to, like, say so, I'd think she would be my favorite, and she would be the one I would be terrified of the most out of the whole group. Well, maybe not that. I think this guy's gonna be a lot worse than her. Here we have Fredbear, or should I say Nightmare Fredbear, or should I say Golden Freddy, or should I say Yellow Bear? It doesn't matter anymore, okay? All I know is he's freaking awesome, okay? So, I adore how I did his paint on here. I love it so much. Because the same thing I said before about Bonnie, I didn't know if you noticed it with Chica, but it was on Chica too. I just use a black base first, and then I paint very lightly the other paints, and it gives it that weathered look, so you don't have to weather it on your own time. And it just looks weathered from the start. And it's such a cool trick to do, and I love it. I also want to note that he is the only one that actually has a sculpted, like, stomach. Especially compared to the other times, because every other time I've made a character from this game, most of the time they had a sculpted stomach. But this time, he is the only one with a sculpted stomach, because he's actually a lot larger than the other characters are in this game. But the same thing that I did with Chica, he has too, with his mouth. Except he has a lot more teeth, and his teeth are creepy looking with all the blood in it. And he has two piercing, glowing red eyes. And he has another set of teeth in his stomach. I don't know why still, but, you know, it looks cool in the end. There's also a bunch of cuts put in his legs, same way as Chica's, same thing as basically all of them, to give them all that weathered look. And then, the arms. This actually happened with all of them, if you didn't notice. Every time I bent the arms like I've been doing, the hands couldn't fit in the peg holes, so I would just glue them in there like that, and it makes them look more broken, I think. So, yeah, and then I wish that the purple on him for his tie and his hat were a little nicer looking, but they look really dull. I'm probably gonna fix that. And then he has the two buttons on his stomach, the one black, the one white. And then going back to the face here, which I still adore. Yeah, I really like how he came out. But that's really it. That's it for Nightmare Fredbear, and that's it for this showcase video. And that's it. That's it for the entire series of 5 Nights at Freddy's, for me at least. It is massive. I can't even believe I made this many figures just from that series alone. If I was to count them, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then Freddy has 22. There are 22 figures here in all. That is insane. To me it is, at least. 22 figures in less than a year, because the first 5 Nights came out August 2014, it's August 2015, they came out, so that means each game is only about a month or so old before the next one came out, which is insane. It's insane. It's crazy. But aside from that, I mean, and plus, if I'm actually gonna do the other animatronics, I was gonna add another like 5, so it'd be like 22, 23, 24, 25, 30, like 27 customs, almost 30 customs just from this line altogether, which is insane. But I was more than happy to do it. It was fun. And
I can't wait to see what I do next. I want to keep doing more stuff like this. If you guys have any suggestions for future customs, being that I just did 3 showcases in a week, I would very much appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe, comment. You know, it means a lot. And I actually just reached 3,000 the other day in subscribers. And on my channel it shows 2,560 something like that. But I guess I have some people who don't show their subscribers, they're like private, and it shows me on my screen, on my little icon, it shows me 3K. And that means a lot to me. That 3,000 people in, like, I never expected to get far like that. But I'm glad people are enjoying my art. I'm glad I can post it on the internet for many people to see. Anyways, that's it for this video. That's it for this series. I hope you all enjoyed. Request anything else now. I'll see you next time.